Today's podcast is on small and medium sized entities, small or medium entities. The standard covers omission, choices disallowed, and simplification given by the standards. The investor's perspective is, according to the conceptual framework, the cost burden of producing the financial reporting information for shareholders and other stakeholders should not outweigh the benefits of making that information available. IFRS for small or medium-sized entity has been issued for use by the entities that have no public accountability. This means that their debt or equity instruments are not publicly traded. The SME standards reduces the burden of producing the information that is not likely to be the interest to the current or potential investors in a small or medium-sized entity. Beginning with the definition of what are small and medium-sized entity, a small or medium-sized entity may be defined or characterized as follows. First, they are usually owner-managed by a relatively small number of individuals, such as family group, rather than extensive ownership base. Usually they are owner managed and small number of owners, and they are family members. Second, they are usually smaller entities in financial terms, such as revenue generated, assets and liability under the control of entity. They usually have relatively small number of employees. So they are smaller in the financial term, profits, revenues, assets, liability, and there are small number of employees. And the third is they are usually undertake less complex or difficult transactions, which are normally the focus of financial reporting standard. So the three parts that combine the definition are owner managed, usually the family. The second is small in financial term, assets, revenue, liability, and have small number of employees. And the third is they involve in less complex or difficult transaction. Now, what is the problem of differential reporting? There are problems associated with having sets of reporting standards for small and medium-sized entity. It can be difficult to define a small or medium-sized entity. Second, if a company ceases to qualify small or medium-sized, then there will be a cost and burden and time burden to comply with the full IFRS and IAS standard. And the third is there may be a comparability problem if one company applies full IFRS and IAS standards while other applies the small and medium-sized entity standard. So the problem of differential reporting between a normal company and a full-size company and a small and medium-sized company is there are difficulties in defining which company is a small and which is medium. The second is once the company ceases to qualify for SME, the short form of small medium-sized entity, so there will be a cost and a time burden in complying with the IAS and IFRS on the new big company, and there will be comparability problems if one company applies full IFRS and other uses SME standards. To the next, what is the effect of introducing the SME standard? The SME standard, the small medium-sized entity standard, will be updated approximately every 3 years. In contrast, the company that uses a full IFRS standard and IAS standards have to incur the cost of ensuring compliance with the regular updates. Accounting under full IFRS and IAS standards necessitates the compliance with approximately 3,000 disclosure points. In contrast, the SME standard comprises approximately 300 disclosure points, all contained within one document. This significantly reduces the time and cost spent incurred in producing financial statement. Now, what are the key omissions from SME standard? The subject matter of several reporting standards have been omitted from the SME standard as follows. First is earning per share, IAS 33. Second is interim reporting, IAS 34. Third is segmental reporting, IFRS 8. And fourth is asset held for sale, IFRS 5. Omission of subject matter from the SME standard is usually because the cost of preparing and reporting the information exceeds the expected benefits which users would expect to derive from that information. Accounting choices disallowed under the SME standard. There are a number of accounting policy choices allowed under the full IFRS and IAS standards that are not available to companies that apply SME standard. Under the SME standard, first is goodwill is always recognized as the difference between the cost of business combination and the fair value of net assets acquired. In the other word, fair value method of measuring the non-controlling interest is not available. Second is intangible asset must be accounted for as a cost less accumulated amortization and impairment. Revaluation model is not permitted for intangible asset. And the third, after the initial recognition, investment property is remeasured to fair value at the end. Gains or losses are recorded in profit and loss. The cost model can only be used if fair value model cannot be reliably or without undue cost or effort. Key simplifications in the small medium size entity standard. The subject matter of other reporting standards have been simplified for inclusion within the SME standard. The key simplifications to be aware of are as follows. First, borrowing costs are always expensed through profit and loss. Previously they were capitalized. Second, vessel associate and jointly controlled entity can be accounted using equity method in the consolidated financial statement. They can also be held at cost if no published price quotation of fair value. Therefore, simpler alternatives to equity method are available. Depreciation and amortization estimates are not reviewed annually. Changes to these estimates are only required if there is an indication that the pattern of an asset use has changed. Expenditure on the research and development is always expensed to profit and loss. If an entity is unable to make a reliable estimate of the useful life of an intangible asset, then the useful life is assumed to be 10 years. Goodwill is amortized over its useful life. If the useful life cannot be reliably established, then management should use the best estimate that does not exceed 10 years. On the disposal of an overseas subsidiary, cumulative exchange difference that have been recognized in other comprehensive income are not reclassified to profit and loss. There are numerous simplifications with regards to financial instrument. These include, first, measuring the most debt instrument at amortized cost method. Fair value is not allowed. And second is recognizing most investment in shares at fair value with changes in fair value recognized in profit or loss. If fair value cannot be reliably measured, then shares are held at cost less the impairment. The advantages and disadvantages of the SME standard. Firstly, advantages. There will be time and cost saving due to simplification and omission, particularly with regard to disclosure. The SME standard is worded in accessible way. And third, all standards are located within the one document, so therefore it's easier and quicker to find the information required. Disadvantages are, there are issues of comparability when comparing one entity that uses full IFRS and IAS standards and another which uses SME standard. And the SME standard is arguably still too complex for many small companies. In particularly, the requirement with regard to leases and deferred tax could be simplified. So advantages is it is time saving, cost saving, it is all standards are located in one document, so it's easier to find information, easier options are available. And disadvantages, issue of comparability, and the second is SME standard is still complex for small company. So this